Hey guys, this is kind of part two of the Grudge Race Camaro 69 that we're doing. We're working on the brackets. Been working a little bit on the chassis. You can see it in the background that all the floor pan is just about done. Got a little bit of welding to do, but what I wanted to show you guys, we got all these brackets welded the other day. We finally, each one of these holes has to be reamed out. And this 1/2-inch hole, you need to use a 1/2-inch hand reamer and ream out each one of these holes so this bolt just slip inside. You don't want any interference on these bolts when they're mounted and the heim joints in between it. You don't want any interference in these bolts here. You want every one of these bolts to slide in. If everything's right on your 4-link setup, what you'll do is you'll put the bolt in with the other bracket and you'll tighten it up. And it'll be completely tight, but it will still turn. Tight as you can tight it, torque it down, and it'll still turn inside with the heim joint. That means that everything is lined up perfectly. If it's in a bind, then you need to start looking around. And the good thing about that, when you're doing your maintenance, working on you just go back and check your 4-link bolts and wishbone bolts and check everything to make sure everything's good. And you should be able to reach over and grab this bolt and turn it. If it doesn't, then something's wrong. That gives you indication you need to start looking, see if something's out of line or anything. And you might want to be able to pull the bolt out and just check it, make sure it's not elongated or anything. But I'm going to show you how I do this, and this is not the, if you had a milling machine or something, but this is basically, I'm going to do it by hand. Show you guys how we do this. Let me get this bolt here. Got that. Okay, this is I use a cordless drill. It's got a reamer on it. It's just your basic setup. And what you do is you get a little bit of cutting oil. You can do everything we're doing, you can do in your garage. Put a little bit of oil on it. Then what you're going to do, you're going to line it up with the hole, and you're going to ream every one of these holes. You can feel when it's got a little bind in it, and it's going to do that. And once you do that, then you take your bolt and you see if that bolt falls in there. And if it falls in there like that, you're good. Then you move on to the next. And you do all of them. You do all the bracket bolts same way. And these hand reamers are not very expensive. And you just run it through. And you can feel it. You can feel it pulling on it. And this is real important on all your adjustments on your 4-link setup. 4-link, ladder bar, don't matter. If these bolts are in a bind, then the chassis is in a bind. And you want to do every single one of them. You check it, stick it in, and if it's still a little snug, and you can feel it by hand, then you go back and you run the reamer through it again until it fits nice. Do it until you got it right, Those things drop in there, then you know you're good. You move on to the next one. And I'm not going to bore you with doing all these, but you have to do the chassis bracket, and you also have to do the rear end housing bracket. And it's got more adjustments, but you probably never use this back holes. Everything you use is going to be on the front holes, top and bottom. So you want to do all of that before you assemble anything. Basically, once you get all the holes done, then you're gonna use a fixture to put everything together, and I'll show you what that looks like. But when you go to your chassis shop or whoever's doing the car, ask them to make sure they ream all the holes on the brackets. And these, like I say, these are very expensive. I think this was like the reamer was probably like $30, and I have them for a 1/2 inch. We use a lot of 5/8 stuff on the big cars, so it's pretty. It's a hand reamer, and you get it to the right size. You can get them oversized, you know, if you want to cut it out a little bit bigger, but you don't ever want to do that. You want it to fit exact. So that's all I have for today. It's Sunday afternoon. Everybody had a long night of racing last night. I didn't watch much of it because I was here working on the chassis for the Grudge Race '69 Camaro. But it's coming along nice. I mean, you know, it's all the floor is done. The main hoop has been up. I made a few little changes. I got to put the fixtures back up, and then next week I'll show you how to put the roll bar in and start building the cage. And you guys have a good day, and we will see you next week.